and not enough action!
They went to a studio and they said, would I come down and sort of help a bit? And I thought, well, all right then, and I went down to this little place, rather not unlike here really in size, and I thought, no, I'm going to be cool about this, obviously, because you know, all the instruments were totally out. I mean, they were tuning, so I thought, oh, this is obviously part of the. I said, so you're obviously you're out of tune on purpose, aren't you? It's part of it. And they sort of looked at me and went, tuning? What do you mean? I said, well, it sounds like this, out of tune on purpose. Isn't it? Oh, tuning? You mean? I said, well, yeah, when you play an instrument, you need to tune it. So this was a sort of revelation.
Is the way that you've recorded albums changed?
Yeah, we sort of know how to do it now, whereas we didn't to start with.
No, I don't know where I'm...
I said, don't try anything to know.
Right. Fleet Street fell in love, the girl proved hard to get. No.
Just three, remember?
Right.
We are eating your throat now, just go on.
The girl proved hard to get.
Yeah, we'll do it more. Get!
Get.
Right, we'll do that.
Get.
Well, you only want to try and go on three.
Right. Get. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was sort of unemployable, in fact, and somebody offered me a recording studio. So I thought, well, why not? I thought, great, I'll do that. And then this gang of anarchists turned up one day. Almost my first introduction to Chumbawamba was having to record this guy, this lunatic, in the toilet at the studio, physically being sick, making himself sick, and I had to mic him up.
I think it's over the big boss around.
Their standard of musicianship like when they arrived?
I didn't actually realise they were trying to be musicians. I thought they were some sort of circus troupe.
Are those three beats equal, is it? But there's this sort of little gap between... I see the gap. These are regular. Is there a gap on that one? No, there isn't, I see. Yeah. I did play on the earlier stuff, because they've progressed to much better, more accomplished keyboard players now.
Yeah, at the beginning we had this, you know, collective notion about mixing the records collectively, and basically all that happened is that you know, somebody would go, I think maybe bass should go up a little bit, so like bass would go up a bit, and then, you know, guitarist would go, guitar's a little bit quiet now, I think that should go up, so guitar would go up. Then, like, you know, drummer would come in, go, I can't hear them drums, you know, can we turn that snare drum up a bit? So snare drum would go up, and then vocalist would like pop in and say, I can't make out them words, you know, can they go up a bit? And basically it'd just get louder and louder, the track, you know, so by you'd have to turn the master volume switch down anyway, you know, it'd be exactly the same. So we sort of realised pretty soon that it just didn't work. You know, you can't sort of do that.
when we first all gave up all our part-time jobs or day jobs or whatever to do Chumbawamba for full-time, we were all on 50 quid a week. For years, the only way that we used to be able to make money was by touring, because we didn't sell enough records to really make any money. So we used to tour constantly. For years, we didn't have any sort of road crew at all. We used to share the driving, and we used to like load and unload the van ourselves. It was very much a sort of a self-contained little cottage industry that we had, really.
You know, when I joined, it had existed as a group of people that had kind of worked out a way of functioning that made quite a lot of sense to them, probably. But I think they were so. It's like that group of people knew how it all worked, and because it all seemed so obvious to them, it's like no one actually really explained it to me.
The whole anarchist thing for us is that, you know, as a group of people, we get together and we make decisions on things, and the best way that any group of people can make decisions, we think, and a lot of people think, is to sit down and discuss them, or argue them, or debate them, or whatever, and come to a conclusion that's basically a common conclusion that's where, even if it's a compromise, people are all happy with it.
Even though it's fantastic the way that we do it and that like everything's a collective decision and all that, sometimes it's a total pain in the arse. You know, it'd be so much easier to have somebody going, right, we're going to do this, you know, it'd be loads quicker.
It has been mentioned to me by various people that Chumbawamba were particularly good at shoplifting.
Well, actually, I always wanted to be really good at shoplifting, and I wasn't very good at it.
I never actually had the guts for it. And I have to say, morally, it wasn't ever my thing.
Some of them were genius, but I was not actually one of the skilled exponents of that.
Dan works like this. Do you know what I mean? It's like I haven't stolen anything, honestly.
Basically, we had like a shoplifting competition to see who could like nick the biggest money's worth of stuff, you know, up until gig time. So like we were all out there like around Bath, you know. People were like nicking all kinds of shit.
Oh, I've got this nice percolator, and oh, do you like my new kettle?
And it was outrageous, you know. Looking back on it now, it's ridiculous because we were supposed to be playing a gig that night.
How do you walk out of a shop with a rug?
We should have given away like free prizes, shouldn't we, to people on door? First 10 people in get, you know, like a carriage clock, a box of chocolates, a rug from Habitat. That were a staple.
Chumbawamba, they are taking a thumping from the Virgin Megastore music chain as a result of comments made by one of the band members. Alice Nutter, during an appearance on the show Politically Incorrect, remarked that it's fine for fans to steal the group's Tub Thumper album. She added, but do it from the big chain stores.
I think she was set up.
You stole her record, but that is what you advocate, is it not? You're saying you're advocating.
No, we're saying if you want to go out and do that, it's up to you. We don't care. We're not precious about it.
People have a strange morality about shoplifting in that, you know, that you're expected to condemn it. You're expected to say that all stealing's wrong, and all stealing isn't wrong, you know.
But let's talk about shoplifting in general as opposed to our record, because,
okay.
you know, because
shoplifting in general.
Capitalism steals from you all the time. And it steals your labour, and it steals your life, and people end up like doing jobs they absolutely hate 40 hours a week. Just far worse than going into Boots and nicking a box of nappies. You know, bands have a high bullshit quota, and quite often people say things and then they spend the next 3 weeks apologising. And I weren't sorry. You know, why should I be? I meant it.
Talking after the war, the Nazis managed out to trade, but the Italians are fascists. Still dream of a master race. Then history books they tell of their defeat in 45. They all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. They say the prisoner Spandau was a symbol of defeat. Whilst history remained in prison, then the fascists they were beat. So the promise of an Aryan world would never materialize. So why did they all come out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died? The world is filled with maggots, the maggots are getting fat. They're making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats. They're taking over the boardrooms and they're fat and full of pride. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. So if you meet with these historians, I'll tell you what to say. Tell them that the Nazis never really went away. They're out there burning houses down and peddling racist lies. And we'll never
main tenet of Chumbawamba, I think, is to have a good time, all the time.
They'd already been together for years when we started working with them, and they'd been very, you know, relatively straight-laced, po-faced, you know, political band, and were kind of maybe perceived as being extremely serious. At the time they got to us, it seems to me that they were sort of discovering that it was okay to have a little bit of fun with it and be a little bit more overtly playful about things.
I think we have to have a good time. I think as soon as we think that it's a duty or a job, then I think it's stupid. It destroys the idea of what we're doing.
A lot of people think it's childish that we either do pranks or we're involved in hoodwinking the press in different ways.
The press is so gullible. I mean, it'd be a shame not to take advantage of them.
And they pulled the scam of recording an oi track. You know what I mean? You know, just a thrashy, one-chord, loud oi track. Packaged it, sent it off, sent it around the press, sent it around, and got reviews as a new phenomenon, as a new band called what the hell were they called?
In 1982, they appeared as Skin Disease on a single, Back on the Streets.
Skin Disease, and they got reviews, and so I thought, well, this is a good idea. We're also going to make a good thing out of this. They then decided to attach themselves to the Liberal Party and form a band called The Middle. And they did the same thing. They produced this piece of music, sent it off to Liberal Party headquarters, David Steele, and actually got asked to play at David Steele's birthday party.
They were always interesting to have meetings with. And they do like to keep this kind of aura about them, about the mystery of themselves, about them, how, for instance, the mystery of their name. They like to make a big deal about how they got their name nowadays.
Chumbawamba's name came about following an experiment in Vermont involving monkeys.
The idea that if you give enough chimpanzees enough typewriters and enough time, they'll type the complete works of Shakespeare.
Above the men's toilets it said Chumba, and above the women's toilets it said Wamba.
We tried to find out if there's any truth in it and unearthed some research from the US in the early 70s, and out of all the reams of gibberish, numbers and letters, we found this word Chumbawamba.
I mean, if you look at the rubbish that they print day after day, it's so easy to do a spoof thing.
Never Say Die was a single with proceeds to charity, which was surprisingly in support of Princess Diana, as they were anti-royalists. See, this is it. We put out loads of press releases with lies on, and people just print them.
Who in their right mind had believed that a bunch of anarchists had suddenly come out to comfort Her Royal Highness in her time of need?